Sitting here on the red couch. My name is Brant Boersma. With me is Sam Moore. We're talking about Passion Project Volleyball. Boom. Did you wink?
Yeah.
Good job.
I did.
This might not be politically correct or whatever. How old are you?
I'm 23.
How long have you been playing volleyball for?
I think my mom she played when she was pregnant with me. So
Oh, so you you were playing in the womb.
in womb, yeah.
Literally born to ball.
In uterus. Ooh, BTB.
Right?
I like
That's
that.
Man,
That could be my new Instagram handle, BTB.
BTB.
I think it should be.
B2B.
Just like give me the photo cred.
That used to be the hashtag of my track team. Beat the boys. On my college track
Did you guys
team.
ever beat the boys?
Personally, no.
I feel like you could though.
It depends. It's event specific, I think,
Sorry, I digress.
My mom started the volleyball program, the youth program, in 4th grade. You're going for a serve. If you can get a serve over the net, you will be a national champion in 4th grade.
Could you serve it over the net?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not, the balls are like beach balls.
Would you go underhand?
No.
Oh, overhand, always.
The new thing now is to teach little kids when they're not strong enough to overhand serve it to jump serve it overhand, because then they use the momentum of their approach. You don't ever really want to start off with an underhand serve.
Now, are you still playing?
I played in an adult league in Portland. I can't play too often, but I play in tournaments around the Everett and Seattle area. And I coach still.
Tell me about your volleyball journey.
Well, my mom played in college. She was a 2-time national champion and All-American.
Wow.
Yeah, so she dabbled in it. I got really serious about it in middle school, and my mom started a club team for me.
Club team, is that so it's not for the school?
It's a different season, so you play winter and spring.
Okay.
And then it's just tournament ball, essentially. When I got to high school, I was super blessed. My parents drove me to my freshman year to Portland twice a week to Beaverton, which is about 3 hours away. And then my sophomore through my senior year, they drove me to Eugene twice a week for club practice. So my teams were based out of Portland and Eugene, and then we would travel twice a month to tournaments. One of them would be a local power league, and then one of them was a national qualifier. If you want to get recruited to play college, you play club in high school most commonly.
Was there ever a point where it just kind of was I cannot stand volleyball anymore?
No. It's like walking into a gym is it's like a sanctuary, man. You just leave everything at the door. My mom would always, she'd be like, "Are you sure you love it? I don't want to push you into it." And I was like, "Mom, stop. This is me. This is, I'm Sam Moore, the volleyball player. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all she wrote. I was put here to play volleyball." I'm viciously competitive at everything.
That's why you tried to take Shane's head off. That's good.
But
Learn that, son.
So tough. Look at him over there.
Son? Do you feel that there's a possibility that Shane might have found a little bit of passion today?
He got after it. We switched roles, so I started playing defense and he started hitting. And I saw a light in his eye, no doubt.
The light in his eye was that when he got hit in the face with the ball. There was a light in his eye. Well, there was a lot of lights. He was seeing stars. Let's just say that much.
Honestly, we should have put him into the concussion protocol.
I know. There's a good chance.
He shouldn't be here right now. We could get sued.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're not allowed to play anymore, Shane. You know that. So going from playing in elementary school, playing in middle school, playing in high school, now you went on and played at the next level of it. Was there a noticeable difference in, the gameplay?
Holy sugar, it's so humbling.
Holy sugar, that's a good one.
You go from being the top player on your team, in your conference, in your state, and then you go to the top level of the collegiate game and you're a drill killer.
Yeah.
You're like, "Oh, we got to get to 20. You're the one who drops it at 18. And you're like, "What am I doing with my life?"
Right. Yeah.
I thought I had this volleyball thing down. It's so overwhelming. It's a level that, you've never played at, and you're there to produce. And if you don't, there's people waiting in the wings to do it.
Now, did you play all throughout college then?
So I started at University of Portland, and I played 2 years there, and then I transferred to Western Oregon and finished my career there and did track. I was looking at playing post-college, but I had to get a second knee surgery after my senior spring.
A second knee surgery? What?
Yeah. So my freshman year in college, we were playing a home conference game against BYU, and I was really sat at the back row and jumped up to set a ball that was 50-50 on the net. And I brought it back, and then when I came down and a girl's foot was right in front of mine, and mine had nowhere to go, so I just popped it right there. So I dislocated my patella and tore my patellar cartilage and my MCL and my medial meniscus, and cracked my femur, and
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I was
that all in one
in like
little
a
hop.
split second, man. And it was crazy. I like stood up and I walked off the court. I was like, I think I need a sub.
I hear like when you get that broke off,
Yeah.
that you don't really feel it.
You
at
totally
first. Your
don't.
body kind of goes like into shock.
I mean, I don't know what your vertical is,
It
but
was
I mean,
it was pretty up there back in the day.
48 inch.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was like, okay, Sam Moore's coming in. We're gonna okay, what does she do? Oh, she's a volleyball player, and I think Mark pulled up your Facebook, and there's like a sand volleyball picture. I think, right? Was that on Facebook?
Yeah, you're
or
like
something?
8 feet in the
And
air.
yeah, and so we're like, oh, looking through it and scrolling, and all of a sudden Shane's like, wait, go back.
Shane's like,
He's like, go
look
back
of
to the
terror.
sand jump, and he's like, that's who I have to do volleyball with. She's got like hops, bro. You went in, had to get surgery. Obviously, I mean,
It was gnarly. They said that the only reason I didn't snap my femur is because my quads were so strong. But yeah, I was pretty high up in the air when I
Jeez.
busted it. And they told me, I went in the locker room and they were like, put this circle on your kneecap, just pull up the sleeve. And I was like, I felt my knee. I was like, I don't know where my kneecap is, man. It's gone.
Oh my
It was like
gosh.
on the side of my leg. I was like, dang. So I went in, I had my first microfracture surgery. I was out for 9 months.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I came back my sophomore season, but it was really interesting though, because going in, I was an English major.
Yeah.
And going through my first surgery and everything, I was like, I love like this anatomy talk. I love like this surgery talk. And I changed to biology. And it was like,
wow.
it was a huge blessing in that aspect alone. I was just a straight bio student at Portland. And I was like learning about plants and animals. I was like, dang, this is really not the bio that I'm into,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I don't really care about plants as much as I should.
Right.
And so I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I want to transfer. She was like, all right, go tell your coaches. So I told my coaches. It was pretty sad because I committed when I was really young.
Yeah.
My strength coaches there are kind of the reason I got my career back. I mean, my
Yeah.
doctor told me it's your choice if you want to keep playing, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
Good luck. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and so my strength coaches gave me my career back at Portland and at Western. And then I was looking at running my 5th year and getting a master's, and I went into the doctor to have him look at my knee, and he's like, I don't really know what's going on here, but your first surgery just didn't work. You know Greg Oden?
Yeah.
Greg Oden and I had the
Oh,
same knee
dude.
surgery.
R.I.P.
yeah.
Greg Oden.
Yeah, well,
I mean, not
let's
he's
just-
alive.
R.I.P. Greg Oden.
He's
No, dude, I
alive.
feel it.
But I
No,
mean,
but-
like, dude, we're
Gosh.
Blazers fans, so Brant and I know the sting of Greg
Yeah,
Oden
we-
all
Who
too
did we
well.
choose Greg Oden over? You know,
I
let's
think some
not
guy
talk
named
about
Kevin
it.
Durant. Who's that guy?
Kevin
Let's not
Durant.
talk about it.
Whoops.
Anyways, yeah.
Whoops, Blazers. Whoops.
But so you had the same knee surgery.
Yeah, so
as
we
Greg
both had
Oden.
microfractures of our patellas, I think is what he had. And so my doctor just said it didn't work. So let's go in and again, let's clean it up, let's shave it off. He's like, eventually I need a full knee replacement.
in your life. Sometime in your life.
Pretty soon, I think.
Really?
I don't have any patellar cartilage. My medial meniscus is kind of shot. My my femur has some stuff on
Yeah.
it. It just happens.
Yeah.
Like it happened to Greg Oden.
So you still slayed the intern on a bad knee.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel, Shane?
What I'm hearing is that a
Think about if
very
she
injured,
had a
talked
good
about
knee.
a knee that needs replacing basically smoked the intern today.
Yeah.
And what are you doing at Dutch Bros now?
So after I got my second surgery, and I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to move home. She's like, okay, move home. So I moved back to Newport. And my parents were like, wow, we're so happy to have you, but wow, you need a job. I was like, yes. And they really wanted me to be a substitute teacher, but I was in a pretty tough spot. Like I
Yeah.
just wasn't feeling great about anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the most stoked, happiest place I know? Dutch Bros. So I called up the manager of Dutch Bros, the girl I went to high school with in Lincoln City. And I was like, Al, I'm moving home. Do you think she could give me an interview? She was like, sure. She hired me. It was great. And that's where I started working at LCDB, man.
I mean, you and I have met at Lloyd. Mm-hmm. And so you moved from Lincoln City. Where'd you go? What was next?
Yeah, so I got an internship coaching, a strength and conditioning coaching at UP.
With the same coaches that kind of did that for you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
They're like some of the smartest people I know.
Yeah, that's
they're
rad.
awesome. And so called Teal.
Yeah.
And I was like, I heard you guys are opening up a Dutch Bros. I work in Lincoln City. I got this coaching job. And I was wondering if, I could have an interview. So I drove up to Portland and she hired me on the spot. And it was so cool getting to meet Teal for the first time. And Lloyd didn't even
awesome.
have counters.
Yeah.
It was
Wow. Yeah.
So I moved up there in January of 2016. And I worked at Lloyd until August.
What happened in August?
In August, I got an offer to go coach volleyball for the in Prineville at Crook County High School.
No way.
Because, you don't really coach high school volleyball for the money.
No.
Yeah, it's for the heart.
Yes.
Yeah. to
for
mold the
that
minds
passion
of
of the game,
tomorrow.
man.
Yeah.
Woo.
So I got the opportunity to work in Bend, and I worked in Bend and coached volleyball and loved it. It was awesome. So then I called Teal and I was like, Teal, volleyball season's over. It's great, but I know this is crazy. I didn't really love living in Bend.
Yeah,
Well,
this
People kind of
we
lose
were
their
friends
mind
until
when
she
I
told
say
me
that.
Oh.
And I was like, Teal, man, I just don't think this is where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you're supposed to be in Everett.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right. So
Master
Teal,
recruiter.
yeah.
Teal
So
Anderson.
Teal let me live on her couch for a month in a
Yeah.
500 square foot squirrel's nest.
Yeah.
It's tiny. And I moved up there. And so I'm working up in Everett. And I know a lot of the Seattle volleyball community. So I'm playing in some tournaments. I just got hooked up to help coach for a club team up there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Going from player to coach.
Yeah. Making the player to coach transition is honestly really hard.
Yeah.
I coached all through college. I coached club teams. I coached cowgirl camp. But I think the thing that helped me the most was my injury. Because when you are still a player, you're in a totally different mindset.
Right.
And it's like, I can just do it for you. Just watch me do it.
Right.
And some kids learn great like that. And some kids
Right.
need
It
to make
doesn't-
1,000.
yeah.
Like my boyfriend needs to make 1,000 mistakes on the football field to be able to do it right.
Yeah,
and that's
right.
just, that's how some kids learn.
Yeah.
And so having my injury choose the end of my career for me helped
Yeah.
me a ton.
Totally.
Because it's like you're at peace with it,
Right.
And I got to keep playing for 3 more years. And so it did humble me a lot.
It's got to be super frustrating and super, disappointing and depressing. What was some of the ways that you kind of dealt with those emotions?
It was hard. It was really hard. But after I got my second surgery and I moved home, I was like, I'm a college graduate living in my parents' basement, rent free. I don't have a job. I'm like, what am I doing? And it was a super dark time. And so I think I leaned a lot on my family. I leaned a lot on Dutch Bros. I worked a ton. I loved it. And I had to walk away from the game for a while.
Yeah.
I didn't play for probably 8 months, didn't really go in the gym. And then I was back with Teal, working with Teal. She was like, man, you got to get back. You got to do
Yeah.
it again. And I was like, who are you? Why is your
She's
name
amazing.
a color? And
You're my favorite.
and so she kind of flipped the script on me. And I remember when I told her, I was like, I got this job to leave and go to Bend and coach. And she was like, you got to do it. You got to keep it in your life,
Yeah.
And I think that I need volleyball more than volleyball needs me, but I'm okay with that.
When you're in that place, it's super helpful to be around people that will bring you up.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
knowing that, is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Life never is really what you expect it to be. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
And sometimes you luck out and things go your way, and a lot of times it doesn't.
Yeah.
And just to have that kind of common sense is pretty incredible. Do you do anything do you do yoga or anything like that?
I'm still big into lifting. I still
Okay.
lift a lot. Teal has yet to lift with me, but I have done yoga
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
before. We got to beef
Can
her
you
up,
imagine? Yeah,
know?
can you imagine just Teal if she was just actually tough?
Just yoga.
Okay, come on.
Oh
She's
my
She's
gosh.
just such a sweetie, And
Yeah.
all of a sudden now she's strong. So, she's a strong spirit.
Hey, I
Yes.
think she was
But-
named after a color because she brings brightness to us all.
Oh,
I
geez.
love that.
Mark Berry is always going to be trying to make things right with Teal because he has
Yep.
wronged her.
I
before
did.
in
You
life.
did?
It's a different.
It's
we
a
don't
whole
need to
nother
get into
story.
it.
We won't go
but
there, but Mama Squirrel knows I love her.
yeah, exactly. That's true.
Yeah.
She
And I
does.
love her too. My kids love her. I don't know. I've yet to meet someone that has anything bad to say about her. So
Truly.
that's good.
Wait, I gotta throw one thing out there. Tell us about when you had dreadlocks.
You had dreadlocks, huh?
Yeah, I had dreadlocks for 5 years.
I had dreadlocks for 6 weeks.
Oh,
Everything's 6 weeks in my life. How'd you keep them for 5 years?
well, I was 15 and I was like, Mom, Dad,
Yeah. I'm sorry.
ja, parents. I was like, I really
hairdo.
want dreads.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, no.
Yeah.
My dad was like, come here. So I always had the state track meet and a tournament in Seattle, a volleyball tournament the same weekend. My dad was like, if you make finals, which is top 8 in the state in 3 of the events that you go in, and then you don't miss any of your serves, I'll let you get dreadlocks. Because I had gotten one underneath and not told them. That was the most reckless thing I have ever done in high school.
What a rebel.
Yeah, and so I was like, deal.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I finished it, and I went to my neighbor Carlia's house, and I came home, and my mom was like, they're puffy. And then she went to bed. And I was like, okay, cool. And so I had them for 5 years. I got them cut off when I was a junior in college. I was just they were so long, like almost on my belly button.
Oh man.
And they were so heavy, and they like my teammates would get mad because they like hit him in the face, and they would hit me in the face. And we were in Fairbanks, Alaska, like rural Alaska.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I want to cut off my dreads. And my coach was like, cut them off. He did not. Yeah, I don't think he was a fan. And so he was like, today. So I was like, all right, cool. So I just went to this random place and they shaved him off. And so then I
So
rocked.
you just had a shaved head.
I had a mom cut for a while because they kind of combed him out, but then everyone thought I was a mom, and I was like, oh, dang, I'm 20. So
It kind of looked like a Bieber cut. At
yeah,
one point.
well then I got
yeah,
it. Then
there
I
you go.
shaved it and bleached it.
Yeah.
I did the Bieber cut before it was the Bieber cut.
I know it was just
Yeah.
the Sam Moore
You
cut.
inspired Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but was the motivation behind the dreads like so that you might stand out for college recruiters?
I had already gotten all my offers.
Oh, okay.
And
you just
I
were
had
stoked on them.
Yeah, I had verbally committed. I verbally committed like my sophomore year in high school. So I verbally committed and then I got my dreads. And so I remember my coaches came to Newport to do a camp for my high school. And he was like, all right, let's see him. And I pulled him out and he's like, listen, if you can still jump just as high after, then I don't really care what your hair looks like. So I was strutting around that UP Catholic campus with those long dreadlocks.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, in my mind, I'm like, that's smart. Like if you're like an up and coming high school athlete, just like have a big old mohawk or something,
just
so
a
you stand
tall
out.
white
Like,
girl
oh,
with
that
dreads.
girl, yeah,
I'd get
yeah.
a face tattoo.
Face-
Listen, all you high
Mike
school
Tyson.
kids
They're
out
into
there,
that.
get a face tattoo. It'll make you stand out.
Yeah. But
And you
no,
won't
yeah, they
regret
didn't-
it later in life.
they didn't care. I would like get heckled a lot in high school and in college, like when I would play.
I did them for literally, like I said, 6 weeks. It's my signature.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I'm not like my head itched like crazy. I have an itchy head anyway.
I was
so
going to
it's
say,
like,
dare I say this, but
you wanna
do
itch
you
my
have
head?
some dandruff issues beforehand,
wow,
previously?
Gosh, listen to
Did
this.
you struggle with that?
Well,
Head and
guys,
shoulders.
Is that a battle you
Shut
fought?
up, intern. Go give me a drink. I want a talking rain. That's none of your business.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Well,
Way too personal.
I'm interviewing you here,
yeah,
friend.
yeah.
Brent,
That
what are
was
those
me.
white flakes on the red couch there?
That, oh gosh,
What kind of shampoo did you use when you had them?
I didn't.
There
Okay,
you
well,
go.
there's your
I use
sign.
soap. I use bar soap.
No, so you got to use tea tree oil shampoo because it's very moisturizing to your scalp. But
I
it
was
doesn't.
afraid it would loosen them out.
That's if you use conditioner. You can't use conditioner. I loved them.
Well, what would be a bit of advice that you could give out people? They had this expectation and it's not happening for them.
Yeah. Well, it's real. I mean, you can't put it off. It is what it is. You know, we're all dealt our hand of cards. Everyone's got their issues and their problems. And so it's real. And I would acknowledge it and I would feel it and I would go through it. But then, you know, you got to work every day. Find your way back to your passion for sure.
Yeah.
Find your way back. Take your time. We all have to take time, but always find your way back.
The passion for you kind of evolved from playing the game to now just educating the game, you know?
How do you envision those skills transitioning now into being in the mob and helping training these new crews?
Yeah.
Wait, you never said you're in the mob. I knew you were. I thought you were going to say it. But
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, she's humble, man.
It's such a cool opportunity. I'm really stoked. I learned a lot about just like reaching different kids. Like every girl on my team this fall was coached a different way. And I think that's so true when you coach a crew. Continuing to be passionate about Dutch Bros. I mean, you have to have your cup so full when you go on these trips because you are just constantly pouring out your love and your hype and you're just stoked on it all the time. And you're their leader. You're their fearless leader. You're there to protect them and to show them and to care for them and to keep them humble and stay focused on them and learn to coach each member of the crew differently because everyone responds to different things. I mean, I know that like even just being a team member, as a setter, you're kind of like the captain of your team. You're leading it. And you know that like this hitter, you have to be like, I need you to put a ball away. And then this hitter, you have to be like, your ponytail looks beautiful today. And that's like it, you know, like everyone responds differently. And I think being like coaching is being able to pick up how people respond and to be able to coach them and care for them like that.
well, that's all.
That felt really right.
That felt pretty good.
Yeah.